Okay, let me go back. Okay. Okay, all right. I'm going to start from question number 65 because we finished question number 64 last time. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Question 65 is about multiplication, division here. Multiplication and division follows the significant figures. 22.02 divided by 22. 22.02, 10 to the 23 divided by 22. So these numbers have 4 significant digits. Therefore, answer should be rounded off to 4 significant digits. How you do a problem like this is you divide this 12.02 divided by 22.00, you get this number, 54, 63, 63. This number has to be rounded off to 4 significant digits. Therefore, this has to, number 3 here will become number 4 right here. So anyway, decimal place is had to be moved after first place. Therefore, when you're moving decimal place to the right, you subtract 1 from there, 23 exponent. Exponent becomes 10 to the 22. So that's the correct number is 5.46, 10 to the 22. So that's how you get the answer. Is it clear for you now how I got that? You can go back and look at it again. All right. Are you guys okay with this problem?
Yes.
All right. Answer is D. In this case, it's the same thing. The second number is 3 significant digits. Therefore, that calculated answer you got dividing 2.343 divided by 5.23, you get 4479973. It has to be rounded off. Rounded off. You have a question? Rounded off to 3 significant digits because the lowest is 3 here. So when you do that, you have to, that 7 become 8. Now you have to move again 1 more place to the right, decimal place. You see that decimal place, normally we leave in scientific notation to the first place. So therefore, you have to add, subtract -1. Here we subtracted -1. Here we subtracted -1, -31, -1 becomes 32. Therefore, answer is that one. That is the same problem. Now, I want you to go back. I did this calculation for earlier questions. You can go back and look at it, how I did it, okay? Now, one more thing to remember is all these numbers here, 10 to the 9, 10 to the 6, 10 to the 3, 10 to the -1. You must remember these. Pico is 10 to the -12. It's the lowest scale on of metric prefixes. I went back. Okay. So if I ask you what is centi, you should know 10 to the -2. If I ask giga, is 10 to the 9. Pico is 10 to the -2. Deci is 10 to the -1. Centi is 100, 10 to the -2. Milli is 1000, 1000th of a unit. Micro is 10 to the negative 6. So you can, if you remember these things become easier. Okay, let's ask the unit prefixes question. Which metric prefix is commonly abbreviated using a Greek letter? It's mu. Let's go back. All these are English letters except the micro. Micro is a Greek letter. So the answer to that is micro. All right. Which of the following is showing the correct order of prefixes? Now you have to find out these are all greater than, all greater than here. So you have to find contradiction. Millimeter is greater than centimeter is a contradiction. This is a centimeter greater than is millimeter is meter is a contradiction. Meter is greater than kilometer. That's wrong. This is wrong too. Kilometer is greater than centimeter. That's correct. Millimeter is smaller than centimeter. Micrometer is the lowest. This is how I got the correct answer. See, you check each one. In this case, millimeter cannot be greater than meter. Meter is base unit. Millimeter is 1000 10 to the negative 2. So that's, at least you have to find something that contradicts. Here, this is contradiction also. Centimeter cannot be greater than kilometer. Centimeter is a tiny thing, in the ruler on the scale with meters. Do you have any question about this? Prefixes, whether they are long order of length, they are larger or smaller. You have to go to this one. Which one order is correct order of length? I found a contradiction here in the centimeter cannot be greater than, centimeter cannot be less than. These are all less than. Centimeter cannot be less than micrometer. Micrometer is the smallest. Therefore, here is centimeter cannot be less than nanometer. That's the contradiction. On the choice C, nanometer is smaller than micrometer. Micrometer is smaller than centimeter. That's the correct order. So therefore, you get the answer C. All right. Do you have any questions about this now? These three questions. Do you guys have any question? I'm going to the next one. How many milliliters are in meter? Now, try to understand this clearly. You start with where you are starting here. You are starting from 1 megameter because you are asked to give how many millimeters are in a 1 megameter. Therefore, I write down 1 megameter, this first one. Then now you have to convert megameter until you get converted to millimeters. Okay, megameter is, this is the factor-label method. Once you remember 1 megameter is 10 to the 9 meters. Remember, second one we had in the list, we convert megameter to meter here. Then here at the bottom, we convert meters to millimeter. 1 meter has 10 to the 3 millimeters. 1 megameter has 10 to the 9 millimeters. Megameter is bigger than meter. Therefore, this has to be 9. Bigger number has the positive exponent. So when you do add, you do multiply these two. All the numbers, 1 times 1 times 10 to the negative 9, 10 to the negative 10 to the 9, 10 to the 3 divided by 1. You don't deal with ones, get the ones. Therefore, this question is 10 to the 9 times 10 to the 3. I have a problem. Let's look at the answers. 10 to the 9. 1 meter is 1 meter is millimeter. Okay. 1 megameter is 10 to the 9. Okay, let me look at it. 10 to the 9 here. Let me go back in the mega. Mega is 10 to the 6. You see that I made a mistake there. Mega is 10 to the 6. I was printing out. This has to be 10 to the 6. If it is 10 to the 6, I cannot erase that. You get 10 to the 9. Do you understand that question now? I had a typo there. Typo. I wrote it wrong. Okay. Do you have any question how to do it? You start with the one that you trying to start with. 1 millimeter. You do that. Again, I made the same mistake. It has to be 6. Okay, it becomes 10 to the negative 9 now. Because when you going backwards, 1 millimeter is 10 to the negative 3. 1 millimeter is 10 to the negative 6 megameters. Therefore, it becomes 10 to the negative 9. If you look at these two answers going backward, it has to be first one 10 to the 9, then going backward should be negative 9. All right? Do you have any questions? I made a mistake about 6. I wrote it wrong, but answer I wrote was correct. Man, I did it right here correctly. Maybe I did it before, then I corrected it here. Do you see that number 71 and 70 and 71 is correct now? You guys see it?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I think it's the same thing. Done before. This one was done before. How many nanoliters are in the 1 liter? So you start with 1 liter and find out how many. 1 liter is the starting point. 1 liter is 10 to the 9 nanoliters. So therefore, is 10 to the 9 nanoliters. Answer is there. I follow the same thing. Conversion factor is 1 liter is equal to 10 to the 9 nanoliters. Okay, how many liters are in nanoliter? Do you see this has to be -9 one times going backwards? You remember the same thing happened before? The 1 megaliter, 1 liter is greater than nanoliter. Therefore, there shouldn't be an exponent, negative exponent on the power of 10. Okay, that's the opposite, going backward. How many, then now is the kiloliter. I start with the kilo here, 1 kilo here. Convert kilo to liters. 1 kiloliter is 10 to the 3 liters right here. So therefore, now the liters have to be cancelled out. So 1 liter is 10 to the 6 microliters. Therefore, I get the 10 to the 9 when you do the calculation. So 10 to the 9. Answer is C here. Do you see this is pretty simple calculation? You find out the conversion factor and just, this is called factor label method. How many microliters are in 1 kiloliter? That's the opposite of that. Do you see that 71 is going backwards in 75? Therefore, smaller liters, microliters, should have negative exponent in kiloliters. In SI unit system, cubic meter is basic unit for the volume. 1 cubic meter is equal to which of the following? I wrote down here something that you need to remember. Right here. 1 cubic meter is 1,000 liters. 1 cubic meter is 10 to the 6 centimeter cubic centimeters. 1,000 cubic centimeters is equal to 1 liter. 1,000 cubic centimeters. Same as 1,000 milliliters is equal to liter. Do you remember that? In your previous places, 1,000 milliliters is equal to liter. So these things are the common things you should remember. Cubic centimeter is 10 to the 6 milliliters or centimeter, cubic centimeters. So D is the answer. 1 cubic meter is 1,000 liters. 1 liter is 1,000 cubic centimeters or 1,000 milliliters. So that you have to kind of remember. Decimeter is 10 to the negative 1 meter. 10 to the negative 1 is 0.1. Sometimes volume of equal cubic centimeter, which of the following is cubic decimeter? Cubic decimeter is 1 decimeter is, how do you get cubic decimeter? Decimeter times 3. Therefore, decimeter times cubic decimeter is equal to 10 to the 3 meters, negative 3 cubic meters, right here. So 1 liter is 10 to the negative 3 cubic centimeters. Remember we said 1000 milliliters is equal to 1000 liters is equal to on the top here, 1000 liters is equal to 1 cubic meter. Therefore, 1 cubic meter, 1 liter is equal to 1 over 1000. So then we converted it to meters to decimeter. So when you do that, you get 1 liter. How do you get 1 liter here? Right there. That's how I got 1 liter. So answer to this, 1 decimeter, cubic decimeter is what? 1 liter. Now let's do the 78. SI system unit of basic unit of volume is cubic centimeter. The cubic meter is equal to which of the following? Cubic meter. Nanoliters. 1 cubic millimeter is right here. I wrote down that here, millimeter. So I got the answer, 10 to the 9. How do you get 10 to the 9? Because 10 to the 12. How do I get 10 to the 12? I haven't given the answer for that. Nanoliter is 9. 1000 liters is a 1 cubic meter. Therefore, 9 plus 3 is 12. So that's how you get this answer. When you convert them, you get 12. The standard metric unit volume is equal to the following. Let's look at the answers. How come it become micrometers? The liter is equal to how many, what following units? Answer is C. C, how do you get C? Microliter is 9. Let me check the answer. C, correct. Microliter, did I? 10 to the 15. I done here. 1 liter is 1000 right here. Eight plus 18 plus 13. So 9 plus 9 microliter. Micrometer is 10 to the 9, negative 9. Cubic, this cubic micrometer is 9 plus 9 plus 9. 6 plus 6 plus 6. Why 6? 10 to the 6. Right here. 6 plus 6 plus 6. I got 18. When you convert it to divided by 1,000, it gets 50. That's how I got that one. You have to sit down and figure out which of the following is the correct order of mass. We done similar things. That's increasing order here. So A has a contradiction, B has a contradiction, D has a contradiction, and C is the correct answer. Do you have any questions? You can ask it now, or you can go back and look at it, okay? If you are not sure about it, okay? I have posted this on my webpage. Which of the following is order of masses? Similar question. Is greater. All are greater than, greater than, greater than, greater. Largest one is on the right. So I found the contradiction in A, B, and D. I marked the cross about the contradiction. Microgram, for example, B, in B, microgram cannot be greater than megagram. So C is the correct answer. The smallest unit of length among the given units is picometer. Pica is the smallest unit. Remember, I wrote down all the exponent. Pica is 10 to the negative 2. Micro is 10 to the negative 6. Nanometer is 10 to the negative 9. Like that. So answer is D. Largest mass among them. So largest mass is giga, 10 to the 12. So giga is 10 to the 12. So that's the answer. Is C here. Which is the correct, which is the correct relation between milliliter and micrometer? Let's look at this. Milliliters are small, greater than microliters. Therefore, this has to be a larger number, milliliters, and microliters has to be smaller number. So first one is wrong because 1 milliliter is not equal to microliter. 1,000 cannot be equal to 1 liter. Second one, B is wrong also. But 1 milliliter is equal to 1,000 microliters. That's the correct answer. The third one, that D is, why D is not correct? The milliliter cannot be a larger number than a smaller quantity. All are wrong. This is not correct because it cannot be. So C is the correct answer. This is wrong because when you do the calculation, it's 10 to the 3 microliters. Real. 10 to the 3 is 1,000. This is million. So therefore, that's the wrong. It's right order, but wrong number. Mathematical meaning associated with system milli, micro, respectively. Cent is cm, milli is mm, micro is mu m. So this is the centi, milli, micro. That's the correct order. In which of the following sequence are the metric system prefixes listed in the order of increasing size? I gone back and increase in size only found in C. All others, they are greater than sign go in different direction. So this is the correct answer, increasing order. Which of the following pairings, metric system, previous and power 10 is incorrect? Kilo is 10 to the negative 3. That's wrong. That's 10 to the 3. Micro is correct. Let's see, micro. Micro is 10 to the 6. More than one correct response. That's why I was looking at. Deci is wrong. Micro is correct. Why did I say deci is 10 to the negative 1? Negative 1. Answer is, there are no correct two. Oh wait, they're asking for, remember, right here, incorrect. I was trying to answer, that's for incorrect. I was answering incorrect. There are two incorrect, therefore answer is more than one correct response. In which of the following pairs of unit is the first listed 10,000 times larger than the second? Three, no, that's more than 1,000. 1,000 is 10 to the 3. If you look at those things, only correct answer is liter and centimeter is not correct. Answer is C, more than correct. No correct answer. Why is that? I found nothing had 10 to the 3 difference. 3 here on the A, 9 here, 6 difference. 1 here, that's 100 difference, 10 to the 2. That's 5 here and 6 here, 1 difference. Therefore, more than correct response is wrong, also no correct response. Which metric relationship is incorrect? You go on finding out which one is right. It's incorrect. That's correct here. 1 milligram is, that's not correct. This is correct. That's incorrect. That's correct. That's correct. 1 decimeter is 1 milliliter. There are 2 questions. 1 liter is microliter. That's correct. Answer is A. This is correct. This one is not correct. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. That's correct also. Kilometer is 1,000 meters. That's not. Oh, they're asking incorrect. Incorrect is 1 milligram is. This cannot be correct. A cannot be, milligram cannot be greater than number 1,000 grams. Therefore, this is the incorrect. So A is the incorrect answer here. 1 deciliter that's kind of questionable. Is 10 greater than 100? So therefore it is not equal. This is at least A is correct, not incorrect answer. I will go back into decimal and correct that one, whether if that should be included. 1 deciliter to 100 milliliters. Which length is longer? How do you find out? You convert all of them to meters, 12 meters. 12,000 millimeters converted to divided by 1,000 is 12 meters. This is 12,000 micrometers converted to millimeters is 0.1200. That's very small. This converted by dividing centimeters 100 divided by 100, 120. So this one is the largest here. So there, this last one is kilometers. That's kilometers converted to is 1.2 kilometers, 1.2 meters. So it's same as 12 meters. Therefore, this one is the one with the 120 meters. D is the correct answer. Base unit for volume in metric system is liter. Length is meter. Mass is kilogram, etc. You have to know this is true. Base unit of volume in the metric system is liters. Okay, there are a series of questions that you have to check. 8 millimeters is larger than 8 deciliters. Deciliter is larger than milliliter. So therefore it's wrong. Milliliters cannot be larger than deciliters. False. So if I do this conversion in problem 93, you start with micrograms right here, micrograms. You go through the conversion factors, you get 10 to the negative 9. So let's check the answer, 10 to the negative 9, answer is C. Do you remember how we did that previously? You start with the one here, one you start here and convert it to micrograms here. This is the opposite of microgram to kilograms, micrograms from kilograms. So it's 10 to the negative 9 there, negative 1 there, negative 9, 10 to the 9. So these are similar questions, centigram to microgram. So you start with microgram, convert microgram to grams, then the grams to centigrams, you get 10 to the negative 4. So I got the answer here. So you cannot remember, you have to kind of do it or have a feeling. Some people can do it in head, but I prefer to show you how to get it. So the 96 is kilometer to 1 megameter. 1 megameter to kilometer. So we start with megameter. Megameter is large, therefore 10 to the 3. So answer is B. Answer is C. Answer is C. This one is other way around. No microgram. Okay, that's 10 to the negative 4 right here. Number 95 and 97 is inverse of, so you get smaller one converted to larger one converted to smaller one 10 to the 4. Okay, let's do a problem with real life experience. A person give a patient dose of 60 milligram in place of 600 micrograms of a drug. Suppose you are in the hospital, you are intern. You give a lot more than what you're required. How much the factor of that is? Is it 1,000 times overdose or 10 times overdose? 100 times overdose or 10 times, 100 times or 1,000 times overdose? These are the only two questions you have to select between these two. How do you select between these two? You write down 60 divided by 600. This is 1,100 times I overdose. I got the answer. You convert them to grams. The ratio between them is 10 to the negative 3 divided by negative 5, which is 10 to the 2. That's 100 times. That's how I got the answer A. If you do it for other way around, you end up in negative 2. That's the underdose. So the answer to that is underdose. C, factor of 1,000 times underdose. Overdose means more factor, 10,000 times, 100 times. Underdose is you lower, you give less, 100 times less. Okay, when you're making observation in a lab, the equipment you use to, let me get the picture. Mass, the equipment you use to measure mass. There's a picture here, balance. So balance measures masses. That's the correct answer. My picture didn't show up. There's a balance here. So you should know each instrument uses a use for volumetric press. Length is a scale. Temperature is thermometer. Now, when you take the reading, this is 16 point, this reading is, I wrote down, with the significant digits. Measurements come with the significant digits from the instrument. So how many significant figures are there? 5. Count from 9 to 5, 0, 6. There are 5 significant figures. So this is just to show where the measurements with the significant figures come from. Correct. So when you have a calculation, a balance showing 16.05.9 grams and a measuring cylinder shows beaker. Beaker is used to volume liquid in a liter 1.8. So it's 4 significant digits for the volume here, 4 here, 5 here. Therefore, number should be rounded off to 4 significant digits. So answer is as for the calculation. So answer is A. Did you see how I get A? I put A also incorrect answer, but I put it, that's the correct answer. A is the correct answer. There's a picture shown here about a stadium and in the background there's a sea. The large distance are measured, largest distance you need to use kilometers. So you, depending on the size of the objects, bacteria or atomic nuclei, we use different units. Kilometers are for larger units. Kilometers are measured between cities. So that's the idea. Consider the urinometer. That picture didn't show up. It shows the 1.04. So urinometer measures specific gravity. You put a cube in there, you get the reading 1.04 right here. There was a picture. Picture should be in my question. So therefore, density of the liquid is at the same temperature should be B. The difference between density and the specific gravity measured by hydrometer or urinometer is specific gravity and density. Density has units, grams per milliliter. So therefore, answer is B. When you hydrometer or urine meter measure specific gravity of urine. Now we do series of unit conversion from 24-hour day. Measure, assume exactly 24 hours a day. One day has 24 hours. You cannot day to 24 hours. Then hours to minutes, that's 1.44. That's factor level method. That's how we got the conversions. How do you convert seconds into 24-hour days? Then you have to have a last unit content, minute to second. 1 minute is 60 seconds. This first number 1.44 multiplied by 60 become this number. So like that, you should be able to calculate different times per day, minutes, seconds. That's I have shown. Then also you have to know length, how you convert 200 yards dash to meters. 200 yards, if you are one of the athletes here, you're probably familiar with this distance. 200 yard dash is 183 meters. So you convert yards to feet, 3 feet in a yard. Feet has 12 inches. And 1 inch, 2.54 centimeters. 1 centimeter is 10 to the negative 2 meters. So finally I got it to, all these cancelled out except the last one here, millimeter. So answer is 183. 183 right here. 200-meter run is long distance running that took place in Olympic races, 200,000, 20,000 meter races. What is the approximate length of the run in feet? Round of 3 significant digits. So I did the calculation. 2,000, 20,000. I converted 1 mile to inch, 1 meter to inch. 12 feet in an inch. 1 inch, 12 feet. So 12 inch, this FT should be inch on the bottom, inch. I do mistakes when I'm writing inch here. I will correct that. So it has to be 6.54, 6.56 rounded off. Let's see. Yeah, it's in here. That's how I got this number. So again, let's do some other calculation. American football field is 250 yards. What is the approximate length in 39 in meters? I did the calculation. It's about 286. I converted yards to feet, inches to meters. They gave 1 meter is equal to 39 inches. I use that as a 1 inch, 39 inches, 1 meter. So I got 286. All right. Okay. Fluid ounces. I did the calculation. Again, I had to start with 1000 milliliters, 100 milliliters, converted to liters. Fluid ounces, the conversion factor is here, 1 liter. Then I get 32 right here, 3.2. Certain automobile has 15-gallon tank. What is the volume of this gallon in liters? Normally our cars have 15 gallons. At least my van has 15-gallon tank. So how many liters? If you go to Europe, you will be doing liters. So liter is four, roughly about 1 gallon has 3.7 liters. So you can, 1 gallon has 4 quarts. 1 quart is 9,446. 4 times that is less than 3 point something. So that's how I got this number, 57 liters. Liter is a smaller unit than the gallon. So the gasoline is sold at different places, different units. Somebody want to buy cheese in Holland. Holland is a European country. To buy approximately 2 pounds, they do it in pounds. They do it in kilograms. I'm sorry, we are the ones doing pounds. Which of the following you would ask for? How do I get 2 pounds converted to kilogram, 0.91 kilogram? 2 pounds converted to kilograms is 0.9. You start with 2 pounds. The conversion factor is 1 pound is equal to 2.22 pounds. I remember that 1 pound is 1 kilogram is 2.2. So that has 91. So I got the answer here. So unique conversion is important in day-to-day living also, drug overdose, etc. So I did a French yen in New York by approximately, this is opposite, kilograms to pounds. So kilograms starting with, then you convert it to pounds, 6.6. If you look at this 6.6, answer is C, right here, 6.6. What is the mass of half-pound hamburger in the metric system? So it's 453 divided by 2 is a half pound. How many grams is 226 grams. All right. You guys go through these. I have done exhaustively, spent a lot of time writing down gallons to gas, miles to gallons. These should be looked at. I cannot do everything for you. You guys have to get the idea. You have to do at least couple to master the conversions. Therefore, you can do it. I have given all the answers to in the problems, how I get it. Now the temperature conversions are important. Do you see how you convert temperatures to Fahrenheit to Celsius? You take Celsius to Fahrenheit, you take the Celsius number here, multiplied by 1.8 plus 32, get the Fahrenheit. Celsius to Kelvin is you add the 273. So let's do one problem, couple problems. How do you convert 98.6 Fahrenheit to Kelvin? First, you have to convert it to Celsius. How do you do Fahrenheit to Celsius? Celsius to Fahrenheit is given. You undo these things. You go backward, Celsius to Fahrenheit. You subtract from the Fahrenheit 32 here. And that divided by 1.8 here. So you get 37.0. That's a body temperature in Celsius. Kelvin converted to Celsius, you added 310 Kelvin. So answer is 310 Kelvin. Here, this number and that number is same. Do you see that? So that's how you do Fahrenheit to Celsius, Celsius to Kelvin. So this question is $50 converted to Fahrenheit. You start with this formula, 1.8, 50 times 50.0 plus 2 is 122. You got the answer. So all are similar problems. Then here, this question, some people will have hard time. You have to keep the negative here, negative Fahrenheit. So when this number should be negative. When you negative number divided by negative number, 288. That's how you got the negative 288. Some people don't have idea about negative working out. Be careful. Which temperature, Fahrenheit and Celsius scale have the same numerical value? I got the idea. This is Fahrenheit, Celsius. This is Fahrenheit, Celsius to Fahrenheit. So this should be equal. Then when I solve for x, I got 49. 40. I got 40. So you can 39.9. So that's the temperature where Celsius and the Fahrenheit scale is. You write down the two equation and equal here. That's Celsius Fahrenheit, Celsius Fahrenheit to Celsius. So those two give that answer. Celsius and Kelvin scale don't have common points, common temperature, because they are shifted up. They cannot be ever be same Celsius and Kelvin scale. What Celsius temperature is same as Fahrenheit 86.0. That's Fahrenheit converted to Celsius 30. You get you go through these temperature conversions yourself. Go through all of them. Now we're going to do a quick going over. These are kind of a simple question. This won't take much time. What matter is highly compressible? Compressible is ability to change volume when pressure is applied. Liquid and solid don't change that much volume when applied pressure. Gas is the most compressible. Which state of matter retains volume but adapt the shape of its container? That's liquid. A gas adapts the volume and the shape of the container. Liquid only adapts the shape of the container, fixed volume. Which state of matter is essentially incompressible? Liquids are a little bit compressible, but the solid is the one that is, solid cannot be changed volume. So when you apply the pressure, which of the describe the compressibility? Compressibility of liquid is slightly compressible. These are easy questions. Dry ice, sublime means solid to gas. This transformation is the volume of the sample increase. When solid goes to gas, volume of the sample increase. Volume change, the sample decrease. Those are all wrong answers. The chemical combustion of dry ice change, that's a physical change. This is a physical change. It's not true. So you go through these. I'm not going to go through them because they are kind of easy ones. You have to go through this behavior of solids, state of matter, solid, gases, liquids, particles, how close they are, and some particles, liquids have viscosity here. Viscosity is, liquid has the tendency to flow. There's thick liquid have high viscosity, etc. Surface tension of a liquid. Solids, amorphous and crystalline solids. You have to kind of go through this. The last one, last few questions are about density. So I converted density starting with one quart of one mercury. I converted it to density of mass here, 28.4 pounds. So these are conversion factors. You should go through it, how I done that. These are difference between density and specific gravity. They have no units. Specific gravity have no units. Density have unit. So there are calculations I gone over here, how to calculate mass given the volume and density, or given the volume, how to calculate grams on the density. So these questions you should go through, okay? Specific gravity, we talked about it. There are certain questions about specific gravity. The last part is describing the various forms of energy. Potential energy is one of the forms. Potential energy is, and kinetic energy is two forms of energy. Kinetic energy is given by this equation. half mass velocity squared. Chemical energy is example of potential energy. Nuclear energy is also a potential energy, which is not a chemical energy, is not a kinetic energy, it's a potential energy. Potential energy is both chemical and nuclear energy. Which of the following is true? Slide down a water slide. When you slide down a water slide, your kinetic energy increases. This is increases. That's wrong answer here. Kinetic energy doesn't decrease when you slide down. I will correct that. It should be increases. Which of the following is true as a student slide down a motorcycle? Kinetic energy increases. Potential energy decreases. All of them are. Kinetic energy increase. Potential energy decrease. Total energy remain constant. All of this kinetic energy increase. Law of conservation is energy is neither created nor destroyed. Law of observation, conservation energy, somewhat the kinetic energy and potential energy is conserved. Each question has specific statement. Various forms of energy. In a pendulum, when it swing, at the vertical point, it has most kinetic energy. At the end of the beginning of the swing, it has the highest potential energy. So kinetic energy is half mv squared. You can calculate different energies. Which of the following statements are true regarding forms of energy? Light is a form of energy, but temperature is not. Temperature is not an energy form. Temperature is an indicator of heat content. So therefore, heat is form of energy, but not the temperature. So temperature is the direction of heat flow. So we're going to start with chapter 2 next class period. All right. You guys are there? Are you guys there?
Yes.
Okay, I went through most of the important stuff, the unit conversions, and I wrote down the answers to questions. You have to kind of go through this and try to understand why you get the answers that given there. All right? Okay, I will see you in Thursday, 1:30.